Ronnie take the stage, bringing news from a different page. Truth served hot and bold and strong. Every week we sing along. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Stories that make you think and pray. A light awaits at the end of day, guided by the stars and stripes, through the stormiest of nights. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity.
This is a Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie breaking news alert. This is a Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie breaking news alert.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie. And we wanted to start out with some breaking news, and literally breaking news just recently out. The U.S. Embassy in Iran is issuing Leave Iran Now statements. The statement, the official statement that I'm looking at, location Iran, complete country, event, protests across Iran are escalating and may turn violent, resulting in arrests and injuries, increased security measures, road closures, public transportation disruptions, and internet blockages are ongoing. The government of Iran has restricted access to mobile, landline, and national internet networks. Airlines continue to limit or cancel flights to and from Iran, with several suspending service until Friday, January 16th. In bold letters, U.S. citizens should expect continued internet outages, plan alternative means of communication, and if safe to do so, consider departing Iran by land to Armenia or Turkey. Wow.
Wow.
I've
got MSN pulled up. It says the U.S. Embassy of Iran has ordered all U.S. citizens to leave the country immediately as protests across the region are escalating and may turn violent. May turn violent? They already have.
That's not breaking news. Yeah, that's not breaking news there.
Are you kidding me? May turn violent. Just because of that, let's go to this one right here.
Anti-government activists tell NBC News morgues are filling up in Iran as security forces use live ammunition to crush the uprising. A human rights group says more than 540 people have been killed, including 48 security personnel and around 10,000 detained. Activists claim the state is handing down death sentences without trial. President Trump says he's weighing military options against the Iranian government.
We're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options.
The Iranian government hasn't commented on the death toll and is warning that if attacked, Iran could retaliate against Israel and American bases in the Middle East.
If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. and they won't even believe it.
The government is now organizing counter rallies and declaring 3 days of mourning for security personnel and civilians killed in the violence.
President Trump says the Iranian government has reached out to him and wants to negotiate. He said he might not wait for that before carrying out any potential military strike.
So what part of that was May turned violent? Way to go, MSN. And this was literally just posted one hour ago. May turned violent, resulting in arrests and injuries.
Well,
kidding?
and in that report there said about 500 dead. Other reports are coming out that number is probably closer to 2,000 and not 500, and growing rapidly.
Yes, I actually have another video on that. What part of that looks like it may turn violent? You know, burning down buildings are mostly peaceful, and hundreds of dead bodies lining the street and overflowing morgues may turn violent.
Well,
Wow.
If we didn't get knocked off and get little nasty grams about copyrights, we could play "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor" because the bodies are hitting the floor.
Right. How do you know Drowning Pool? Oh my gosh. Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
actually, back in the day when you didn't have to worry about copyrights on podcasts and things of such.
Yeah.
I used to play that all the time. It just fit in.
That's an excellent song. Drowning Pool, man. I used to cruise to that when I was in high school. Wow. High five.
Tanya and Bill are impressed.
Wow. Yes, they are. Yeah. Wow.
And
I'm impressed. I'm sick
I
as a
see
dog.
Mary.
I'm blown away right now.
I see Mary and I see Tanya and Bill. If one of you guys can send out to the Father's house a text for me, that would be appreciated. You might think things look a little bit different from me. I'm actually using my phone again. And wait a second here. Wait a second.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You guys, if you only knew how cool Pastor Ed really is.
I doubt that he's playing Drowning Pool anytime, but anytime lately. But yeah, Pastor Ed is cooler than what we thought. Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Unfortunately, there will be no more of those concerts because their lead singer's body hit the floor. That's an old joke. But back to Iran.
Yeah. It a lot going on with we could take the next few minutes. Thank you. We could take the next few hours to talk about Iran because there is plenty there, and we are going to hit it really, really hard. But there's still tons of other news going on, and the world doesn't stop. When there's one big news story going on, this last 10 days or so has been nonstop major story after major. We're not even halfway through the month of January, and we've got stories that have taken place that will be on the end of the year stories of the year
Oh, yes, absolutely.
lists. And
Absolutely.
so let's
Yeah,
let's
none of these
jump.
news stories are going away anytime soon.
Yeah, they're not just passing news stories. Um, I've got quite a bit saved here. Nationwide unrest continues across Iran over inflation, corruption, and regime repression. Now, I think I saw where you had a video that showed what the Iran currency was worth.
Yes, absolutely nil. So Iran's currency is absolutely tanked. Zero, according to the euro and the U.S. dollar.
And that's now.
Oh.
They started protest. Really, the protests seriously started when over inflation and the economic standpoint there in Iran, and it's only gotten worse.
This actually just popped up on one of the things that I follow, and I want to say it before it goes away. Effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will pay a tariff of 25% on any and all businesses being done with the United States of America. This order is final and conclusive. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Wow.
Yeah,
hitting everybody else economically as well.
Yeah, Trump. You know, they can say what they want about tariffs, and obviously that tariff isn't about making us money, even though we would. It's about
everybody else.
That, you know, the art of a deal. Sometimes showing just how tough you are, or how bad you are, or how amazingly strong you are, is part of that. And you know, he's playing he's still got cards over here to play, but that was pretty good trump card right there.
Absolutely.
Oh, I was going to say
Americans.
Go
ahead.
Well, there's been thousands arrested for sure. Again, believing that the death toll is way more than 500. And when you see those crowds, Ronnie, you can look and think, if they were to open fire on one of those crowds, how many hundreds of people that they could mow over in just a very short period of time with just firearms. Not, you know, I'm not talking about dropping a bomb or gassing them or anything like that. Just, you know, 3 or 4 soldiers could literally wipe out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in just no time at all.
Well, and we've actually got information here later of how 20 were able to take out hundreds and capture Maduro and get him back to the United States. So yeah, absolutely. 3 or 4 soldiers with fully automatic weapons can do worlds and worlds amount of damage.
I'm anxious to get to that story later because that just totally fascinates me. But fortunately, the Iran Revolutionary Guard doesn't have that technology available at this point. You ain't kidding, thank the Lord. Things really started to heat up in the last couple of days.
On our first topic, American citizens. Go ahead. I just had more on Iran and them order to leave.
Yeah, keep going on Iran.
Well, American citizens have been advised to depart by American citizens have been advised to depart by land to Armenia or Turkey if safe to do so. And looking at the map, Turkey's not close. The State Department also advises U.S. citizens are unable to leave to find a secure location within their residence or another safe building and keep essential items on hand, including water, medications, and other items. Furthermore, the government agency underscores those who are U.S. Iranian dual nationals must exit on Iranian passports. Donald Trump's giving a warning. Y'all better listen. He gave a warning multiple times on Venezuela, and they FA'd and they FO'd. And Iran's about to FO. So,
Well, I got to say this. If I wanted to be an I told you so kind of person, we would have been live at any point yesterday or today. Because Saturday I said that I had a feeling that we wouldn't make it until this podcast, this live stream here tonight, before something would happen for us to go live. And I could have justified us doing that. We didn't, so I'm not going to say that. But yesterday, when things were breaking down, and they've pulled the internet, there's almost zero communication available. They're even Elon Musk has given the Starlink access for free. The problem is you already had to have the equipment. He's not parachuting in the hardware to be able to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're even jamming that equipment, I think. And Mary says that you are on delay with talking, and you were there for just a second. That's kind of how we got crossed over.
It looks to me like everything's working just fine. Nothing's lagging to me. Nothing's, I don't know. Maybe
well, it's good now too. You're good now? Yeah, no.
Okay.
Mary, we'll get to that question when we get to Venezuela. Just remind us if when we get there that we, I'm old and Ronnie's not feeling good today, so we'll remind us when we start talking about Venezuela. This it's interesting in the world today. The letterhead on this warning that's been put out is U.S. virtual embassy Iran. It's a virtual embassy. When people can't get to the actual embassy itself, they just go online. That's so 2026 right there.
For sure.
You think about in days past and the way things were, and we live in an amazing period of time. It's not always the greatest period of time, but we live in an amazing period of time. Those protests that are going on in Iran have spilled over here into America. And I don't know that there's so much protests here in America as showing solidarity with their brothers and sisters in Iran. This lady right here that took this video she is an Iranian. She was on Agenda Free TV yesterday, which he did a great job. He did a great job with. He had to segue back and forth between what was going on in Iran and what was going on in California, where this took place.
So that was in California yesterday?
Yes, and yes.
I didn't get to watch. I came home and was in bed and was dead to the world, so I'm sorry. I've got nothing on that. It's all you. I can add my commentary, but that's about it.
He actually, that lady that took the live videos, who is from Iran herself, called in and was giving her perspective of what went on. And it was a very, very, very good segment. And she was on for probably close to an hour. What happened was that U-Haul, and it had pulled into an area where it was pro Iran individuals, not pro Iran government. It was solidarity with those that are protesting in Iran, and that truck had things on it that said there is a opposition group that is neither on the side of the people nor on the side of the Islamic Republic there. They basically just, well, they're troublemakers, big time troublemakers, and they don't, I think it's called MET. And Ronnie, if you'll Google that real quick and see if anything comes up with that, because I don't want to talk out of turn, and really I have no clue on anything about them except what I heard yesterday. But they drove that truck in. The people were, you seen, trying to get the truck, the signs off, and the truck actually took off and hit at least two people. And the man that was driving the truck.
Like they're not. It looks like they're not on the internet because there's nothing coming up.
Okay, well, maybe I
life and metal.law, but that's about it.
Well, I probably got the initials wrong then, because I think that there would probably be something on there. Let's see. Things are happening so fast. The headlines on the news sites are switching quickly. Wow, it's really quick. The guy that was driving the truck was arrested and charged with what he did there. And so you see that it's kind of interesting. I would think, Ronnie, that it's possible that the left would be calling us hypocrites at this point in time, because we were, the protests against ICE. We know what happened there, and we'll talk more about that. But then we're supporting the protesters in Iran, but they really aren't the same.
No. Sorry, I'm going through news as well, and 3 actors at the 2026 Golden Globes, Wanda Sykes, Mark Ruffalo, and Natasha Lyonne are seen wearing "Be Good" pens. Apparently, that's their stab at Donald Trump because of the ICE shooting and Renee Good. Back to our regular program. I just so happened to come across. I needed to laugh. We usually start out Red, White, and True with a laugh or two, and today we did not. So our apologies, but there's just so much going on.
Too much. Yes, we do. So the two different kinds of protests, Ronnie. The protesters in Iran are protesting for their very lives. The protesters,
yes, absolutely,
that are in the streets of the United States against ICE, they're not protesting for their lives.
No, they're
what's the difference? How are we not hypocrites?
So the protesters in LA, I've got videos of protesters in Austin, protesters in Minnesota. Obviously, they're protesting because Orange Man bad and wham wham wham, and this gave them an opportunity to stand up and go out and wear their little signs and shake their little fists and all that noise. People in Iran are actually fighting for something. The people in America, they're not accomplishing anything. There's nothing to fight about. Right here, Bill and Tanya. The Iranian protesters want freedom. Here they are, just uneducated. You know, the protesters in Iran want freedom, and that's a worthy goal. People here in the United States crying about Renee Good and her decision to put her car in drive and ram a law enforcement officer and getting shot in the face, who, by the way, I actually have a picture and I don't have it on here, made fun of Charlie Kirk when he was shot in the neck by doing this.
I saw.
And just again, she FA'd and she FO'd. Now, the left needed a reason to fight. The left needs a reason to cry, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're not fighting for their lives. They're not fighting for anything. They're not fighting for independence. They're not fighting for taxes. They're not fighting for better living conditions or a better wage. They're out there just protesting to complain. Protest yesterday in Columbus. No, I did not. Again,
Yes,
yesterday.
I've seen some pictures.
Wow. Again, you know, what are they out there accomplishing? You know, what are they
I've
fighting
seen some
for? What is their
pictures.
end goal? What is their end goal? What is Iranians' end goal? Their end goal is a better life, better wage, better, you know, better everything. Democrats are out here protesting and crybabies. What is their end goal? To get ICE out of their cities? Not going to happen.
Yeah, that's their end goal.
I mean, not going to happen. It's Donald Trump. Everything's red right now. We got the House, we got the Senate, we got everything. Shut up and get over it. You know, Donald Trump's making true on his promise, and that's what over half of the country voted for, is to get illegals out. So suck it up. They should have left when they had the chance. They did not. They FA'd. Now they FO'd. It is what it is. Better luck in 3.5 years.
Down at City Hall, and I think they may have even marched across the street to the courthouse. Not totally sure. They said, of course, the Republic covered that.
Of course the Republic covered that. Now, quick question: how many of them were dressed as dinosaurs? How many of them were just as big vaginas? You know, how many of them carried their little signs and cried, "Donald Trump"?
Well, I've seen somebody that I know. I don't know that you know them, but a person that I know was down there and had a sign that said, "I am her."
Oh my gosh! Why are? Okay, of course, you know why. You know why that? Because they're taking away from "I am Charlie." Let me shut off my camera for a moment. Not that. My apologies. Let me shut off my camera for a second. That says "I am Charlie." Because when Charlie Kirk died, that was the message everybody took. "I am Charlie." So of course they're going to take "I am her" and "I am good" or.
And of course, we're not immune here, even in the small towns and cities in the Midwest, of F ICE, a huge poster.
Oh, of course, I'm sure. I'm sure.
You know, you like to think that where you live is better than that, but it obviously wasn't. The Republic said, I think 200 to 300 people. The pictures didn't look like 200 to 300 people. That's why Mary was asking. I think. Well, I don't know.
On this topic, you ask, you know, people are out there protesting ICE and all that noise. You know, we were out there for Charlie Kirk Memorial. There wasn't a lot of us, and the Republic did not cover it. CPD was there. There was 4 officers, and then there was 3, and then there was 2, and then there was 1, and then there was none because there was no counter protest.
Right.
And why were we out there, and why is it okay? Well, we were out there memorializing Charlie Kirk. We're not out there going, ICE, get out of ICE. I really hope ICE comes to Columbus. There's plenty of places they could go.
Yeah, lots of potential.
Yeah, you know, and so all those protesters out there, I've got a video, and you guys are being about as effective as this. About how effective you guys are. So continue to protest, continue to quit your jobs, continue to cry. Oh.
Well, you know, your mom handed me tissue the other night when I was reporting on the chief of police in Portland.
Yeah, that guy.
And you know, we're joking, but we're not joking. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. You know,
We're
Iranians
joking about the
lives. Democrats are out there protesting something that's not going to change.
yeah. The Republic had
We have pictures
pictures,
of the protests.
many pictures actually.
I want to see how many were dressed as dinosaurs and how many were dressed as vaginas, because when they dress like dinosaurs and celery and go out there and protest, and that's real important. Ooh, that's it. I'm going to do some looking because I want to see.
Okay,
it.
now I'm going to editorialize a little bit while you're looking. I've heard numerous people say, and we got way off target on where we were, but we'll continue down this rabbit hole here. I heard numerous people say that our side is no different than when Charlie Kirk passed, and quite honestly, I am as offended by that statement as just about anything that I've ever been offended by, because to put
Absolutely.
Charlie Kirk's name in with somebody who was a professional agitator, the more that comes out about this woman, this good person, you find out she was not such a good person.
Whose mom is next? Murder is murder. I'd rather be watching football, but here I am. No Gestapo, no gulags. Oh my God.
Are you on that's the pictures from Columbus?
I am scrolling through the Republic. Renee Nicole Good. Say her name. All these people need to watch, well, obviously Red, White, and True, Ed, and Ronnie. Because we showed it from every angle that you could possibly see it from, and it's very, very clear and obvious. Now listen to me very hard, very carefully. We showed every angle that you could possibly see. There is no magical thing that would make this any different than what it already was. Her wife was standing there videotaping, screaming, "Go, baby, go." Renee Good was sitting in the driver's seat. She put her hand on the gear shift. She was in reverse. With a smile on her face, shifted into drive, took her foot from the brake and put it on the gas pedal. She then advanced forward into an ICE agent. That ICE agent was trying to get her to stop to save his life. He pulled his firearm and he shot her, yes, in the face. Say her name, Renee Nicole Good. Say her name all you damn want. Charlie Kirk was not behind the wheel of a vehicle. Charlie Kirk was not hurting people. Charlie Kirk was sitting there talking. And like Charlie Kirk said, when you lose discourse in this country, when you lose discussion in this country, when you lose the ability to talk in this country, that's when the weapons come out. They talked to Renee Good. She did not want to talk to them. She used her vehicle as a weapon into a federal agent. I'm really, really, really sick and tired of covering this. And it is making me sick to my stomach to look at these pictures. Can you not see NAZI what's happening? No, I don't see anything that's happening. Due process is right. Absolutely. They'll get their due process. And I'm sure this is going to be investigated every which way but Sunday. No ice. Ice is melting. Who's next? For exercising our right to free speech. What free speech? You have the right to free speech. I don't get that. Make America safe again. It is nice out here. Wow. Dictator or democracy. Abolish ICE. White supremacy. What? White supremacy? This is the second sign that I've seen that claim to be racist. But then they showed a picture of an ICE agent. Somebody's holding a sign with a picture of an ICE agent dressed in a KKK hood that's hanging. Nobody here knows their history. Who is the KKK? Where did they come from? The Democrats tried to stop black men from voting in the South. Do a little research. Wow. Okay, that's all the pictures I've seen, and I'm sick to my stomach. So that's about enough of that. Back to you, Pastor Ed.
Well, I must. That's okay. I must have agitated some people because look. Let's see here.
Mary in Paris, France, they protest topless. I have seen that. It is on I'm sorry, TikTok a lot. I've seen them protest completely nude. Not a fan. The Republicans didn't act like morons when Charlie was murdered. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we didn't go out there and protest to hang ICE or anything like that. Let's see. Lori
Well,
Ingram the other day, the lady interviewed, said she was being paid to be there. Yes. I believe we played that, didn't we?
we did. We did.
On Saturday. Bill and Tanya, my eyes hurt every time I see the protesters and their stupid stuff. Go home, go to work, care for your kids and pets, and shut up. Could not agree more.
Well, that's where I was at with. I must have agitated people in this segment right here because
Hey.
even nice and calm Bill and Tanya. Well, Tanya's not always calm, but for the most part. But
Yes.
you got
I got on my soapbox,
agitated.
and then when I got down, I looked and there was a bunch of comments. So, all right.
Yeah, so there you go. And
Take it.
we can go back to the Charlie Kirk part of that story and how offensive that is. I've not seen, they need to not mistake. We need to not mistake the fact that you and I, people on our side of the aisle, are pointing out what happened as cheering for her getting killed.
We're not cheering for that.
If you go back,
misunderstand.
if you go back to the very first time we talked about that, we said, I made it a point right out of the chute. We prayed for her family. We prayed for her loved ones and said that there is no joy from any place on this topic. Unlike those that are upset with us who cheered and made fun of and made, signs.
Yeah. Dressed up like broccoli and dinosaurs and put their vagina hats on. No. We prayed for her. That was the first thing. First thing. Go back and watch.
I promise you that's there.
Every time. Yeah, I promise you. This is Red, White, and True, not Red, White, and Assume. And we Red, White, and True, and we sure prayed for her family, or for her wife, for her kids. But we also talked about that she wasn't a good mom. And that's truth. Charlie Kirk didn't have his kids taken away. Charlie Kirk didn't put out lit cigarettes on his kids. But we're not going to get into that today because we're covering Iran, and we still got whole lots more to go. We're 36 minutes into this beast.
Well, there is plenty more on Iran. Israel is on high alert because they have been. Iran kind of is good at misdirection.
Oh yeah.
They're about to get taken care of. So let's maybe throw some stuff Israel's way to see if that deflects. Well, Ronnie, editorialize here for me a little bit on how it works when you poke a lion.
Weren't we called the sleeping giant by the Japanese in World War II? We were the sleeping giant. We did not take part in World War II until Pearl Harbor, and then look at what happened. The president decided to drop not one but dos on Japan. They FO'd. So what's going to happen here? Iran already has issues. They're already on high alert. They've already been attacked by Palestine. They're not a sleeping giant. They're awake. They're alive. They're keeping an eye out. And what's going to happen if Iran attacks them? Well, Israel is an ally. Donald Trump will take care of them. How Iran doesn't see that makes no logical sense to me. I guess we'll see in the coming hours, days. We may we may need to wake up at 2:30 in the morning and have to do another live stream like we did with Venezuela.
Well, as I said, I'm surprised that we didn't have to do that over the weekend. I really am.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you that there are some that are questioning why Trump hasn't acted already.
Donald Trump plays chess. You got to think about it. Donald Trump plays chess, and he is the world's best chess player. He sat back with Venezuela And because of weather conditions and everything, they were ready to go before. They wanted to do it on Christmas. That would have been amazing to go on Christmas, but they wanted to do it with weather patterns and stuff. There's a reason why it hasn't happened yet. Trust in the trust and believe it. It'll happen. Just trust Donald Trump.
Well, that's my point. We, as civilians with no information behind the scenes on that kind of stuff, I mean, weather can be a problem. There can be getting coordination with other country, you know, when you have to fly through other places, airspace and different things. There's all kinds of things that can lead into issues in those things. You know, the things
I don't
just like
get goofy here. I don't want to get goofy here, but I honestly, truthfully believe that Donald Trump, the Lord stands right behind him. I don't know if the Lord whispers in his ear and says, do it now, go, whatever, but I truly believe that. I think it's all happening for a reason. And I don't know. I honestly think that the Lord is with Donald Trump. I pray so. I pray he makes the right decisions.
Accurate. Yeah.
I really think that God stands with him, and I don't know. Like I said, I didn't mean to get goofy, and I didn't mean to get preachy, but I really feel that way. Really, truly do.
Well, I think the people that are saying, why doesn't he act, are coming from the standpoint of they've already crossed the red line. They've started killing protesters.
Oh, yeah. That was the red line.
You know, put up or shut. I've heard people say, put up or shut up. You know, if you're not going to do something, quit talking about it. Well,
he will. He will. They FA'd. They're going to FO. And Donald Trump will. And just like Venezuela, you know, it happened on DJT time. That's what we're waiting on. DJT time. Donald John Trump time. It'll happen.
Let me ask you about this and see what your opinion is. All of a sudden, Trump said in that, when he was talking on Air Force One, that all of a sudden Iran wants to negotiate.
Yes, I did see that in the announcement a minute ago. All of a sudden they want to negotiate, just like Venezuela did. Of course they do. They watched that operation. I don't know how much they've dug deep into it. We've dug a little deep into it, and it was insane. It was nothing like the world has ever seen. There's a time for negotiation, and they already passed it.
Yeah, you know, when they started killing, you don't have any negotiating power left.
You saw how many body bags were in the streets. Their morgues are full. They're lining the streets with body bags. That red line has been crossed. We're on DJT time now. He's going to do it. We'll probably wake up one morning and I don't know. I doubt he's going to turn him into a big, you know, glass parking lot, but he'll let Americans get out first. Absolutely. And then here comes the Walmart Supercenter parking lot.
Hey, I think our side thinks alike quite a bit.
Or Dollar General parking lot.
Yeah, or Dollar General.
Oh my gosh.
Well, for Iran, it'd probably have to be Dollar General because they ain't worth.
Yeah,
they're not worth anything.
Right, their money is zil right now.
Let's see.
Let's take a break and watch about the protests and why it's happening. How about that?
At least 500 people have been killed and over 2,000 people arrested in Iran since late December, as widespread protests grip the country. But what are these protests actually about? The protests were originally sparked by frustration over the economic crisis engulfing the country. Merchants and shopkeepers from Tehran's Grand Bazaar staged a demonstration on December 28, demanding the government take action after Iran's currency, the rial, hit an all-time low against the US dollar. Iran's inflation rate jumped to 42.5% in December, triggered by international sanctions and economic mismanagement, worsening already dire cost of living pressures. The government also introduced a new pricing tier for its subsidized gasoline, meaning petrol prices skyrocketed. An ongoing water crisis in Iran also caused further unrest. University students and other Iranians joined the calls, and protests quickly evolved into a larger movement, demanding an end to the current regime under Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Protesters could be heard shouting "Death to Khamenei" as demonstrators seek another revolution to depose Iran's theocratic ruler. These are the biggest protests in Iran since 2022, when the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini while in the custody of religious police sparked the widespread Women, Life, Freedom protests. The government was quick to discredit the protests, with Iran's Attorney General calling anyone protesting an enemy of God. Government forces have taken lethal action, with the human rights activist news agency confirming at least 500 people have been killed. However, that figure is likely much higher due to a state-imposed internet blackout and media suppression, making numbers hard to verify. US President Donald Trump posted to social media last week saying the US stands ready to help the people of Iran. He also threatened to hit Iran hard if the regime started killing people.
If they start killing people like they have in the past, I think they're going to get hit very hard by the United States.
Iran has warned they will retaliate if the US intervenes, most likely with strikes against US military bases and allies in the region. As the protests rage on, calls of "Long live the Shah" have also been heard. This is in reference to Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of the late Shah, who has positioned himself as a viable alternative to the ruling regime. Pahlavi has declared support for the protests and issued direct calls for coordinated nationwide action. On Sunday, more than 100 protesters gathered in Sydney urging Prime Minister Anthony Albanese to condemn the killing of protesters in Iran.
So there we go with some information about why the protests are even happening.
We've got several headlines to do, and since we talked about what happened in Minneapolis, Greg Gutfeld, I like him. Sometimes when he's on his own show, he's a little over the top with making fun of things, but this was on the 5 and not his own show, which there's always 5 on his own show as well. It's more for comedy. The 5 is more of a news story, and I know sometimes having other people say what you think, but he just says this so well. It's 2.5 minutes, but I want you to listen to what Gutfeld had to say.
Why would a mother of a young child, a widow, consistently participate in aggressive confrontations with law enforcement? Why did she feel emboldened to break the law in an endless theater of chaos? Swept up in the latest demonization narrative that eggs on illegal and stupid behavior. Don't blame ICE. She wasn't the target. They were. And it was believed by the people involved that it would be fine, that there would never be any consequences. It was all part of this mania that we've talked about that cuts across a whole bunch of issues, whether it's Trump, trans, BLM, Israel. The table is set with this manic hysteria where radicals believe that they gain leeway by branding the rest of us as an existential evil. This made me think about the Tide Pod Challenge. Do you remember that in 2017 when stupid teens were filming themselves eating Tide Pods and then they get poisoned? Do you know what Tide's response was? Use for washing, not eating. The point being, if you're going to eat Tide Pods, there's not much else we can do except tell you not to do it. The same here. We can tell you, don't break the law. Don't block traffic. Don't harass law enforcement every day and then flee the scene. But if you do, wow, you definitely share responsibility in that, just like the teen who films himself eating a Tide Pod. So you can investigate this shooting, have at it. But it never would have happened if the situation had presented itself. And that is on the Democrats who willed it into being with rhetoric, the same kind of amplification of demonization that got Charlie Kirk killed and Donald Trump shot. But this is for different reasons. Their motivation is to gin up the activist base. They put targets on ICE. And then they blame ICE for defending themselves. Think about that. We can't play that game anymore. We are done with it. And we're not going to explain it to you. We're not going to explain to you why this is wrong. We don't have to. You're not going to find people hoax us anymore. We've been red-pilled by your lies. So we're no longer beholden to radical idiocy. If you want to block a street, if you want to hinder and harass law enforcement, that's your responsibility. If you had listened to me, some kid would still have his mother. But instead, you listen to people like Waltz, the people who try to evade their responsibility by projecting their own guilt on other people.
Wow. He took what I just said and made it even better. I didn't even think about
that's
that.
exactly
If
how both of us feel. I know.
Yeah, they listened to Waltz. They didn't listen to common sense or reason. They didn't listen to the ICE officer. Yeah, 3 kids don't have their mom.
This is what they listen to.
There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. We do.
Their leadership, they listened to their leadership, and their leadership caused that to happen. I blame them. I blame them. And if a little bit more people would take that Tide Pod challenge. Pastor Ed, you are muted. And I cannot unmute you. Yeah, so they listen to their leadership, and that's sad. That's sad. That their leadership decided to stand up and say that kind of stuff. And I don't have any videos, but they're blocking streets. The people who are against borders are suddenly putting up borders in the streets, just like the people who are against borders were putting up borders in Portland a few years ago when they had Chopper and Chaz and all that. That basically the law enforcement didn't do anything about. People who are against borders put up borders. Think about that.
All right, it's time to do headlines, Ronnie. So
let's do it.
I
got my finger on the button. No, that was the wrong button. Where is the right one? News, right? No, that's news alert. Where is the right button? There it is. Headline news. And to those of you out there, thank you for sticking with us this long through everything. We may go after 8 o'clock because we've got stuff more to cover.
I don't think we'll be done with headlines by 8 o'clock. So we still got some stuff to go.
Yes, there we go. We got the right banner out. We got the names. We got the logo. Let's kick this pig. You want to start or me?
Go ahead.
All right. Let me look over here on my screen. Greenland, NATO, pushback as Trump says the U.S. is going to have territory. And this is a very long one, but I'm going to cut it short. President Donald Trump is continuing to push for a U.S. takeover of Greenland, including by force, as European allies expressed dismay over his threats towards Danish territory. Speaking to reporters on Air Force One on Sunday, January 11th, Trump brushed off questions over how possible seizure of the self-governed Arctic island could affect the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, and doubled down on claims that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security. I'd love to make a deal with them, Trump said. It would make things easier, but one way or another, we're going to have Greenland. My opinion, I don't really know too much about it, but videos of people that are in Greenland are absolutely for it. Denmark, absolutely not. NATO, no way. Trump floated the idea of a U.S. takeover of Greenland in 2019, including buying the island during his first term in office. Officials in both Denmark and Greenland had made it clear it's not for sale. Despite strong international pushback and lack of appetite for an invasion from many in his own party, Trump has grown increasingly more vocal about the idea over the past several months. He's moved from musing to buy Greenland to issuing threats, recently saying on January 9th that the U.S. will seize control of Greenland the easy way or the hard way, the FA way or the FO way, I would say. So over to you.
Let's look at... We've kind of got introduced to I probably mispronounce it, Tousi, Tousi, I believe, TV. And this gentleman is in Great Britain, but he is from Iran. So he's got contacts in Iran that he's got good stuff. And we talked about the truck protest in Los Angeles, and he had something on that as well.
Happened in Los Angeles over the last few minutes. A man in a truck that had the signs, that had the MEK signs. MEK are the Mujahideen, which is a very, very small, irrelevant group who are Marxist, communists, revolutionary communists, and Islamists, terrorists, a terrorist organization that are technically against the Islamic Republic now. They were on the side of the Islamic Republic. They got split when the 1979 revolution happened. They hate the constitutional monarchy in Iran and the democracy under the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. The truck itself had multiple signs. Obviously, officially, we don't have the identity of the driver, but we have the identity of the truck. Let's go to a video of the moment the attack happened, and then we have a number of videos coming out now.
Okay, we saw some of that earlier, but that outlet, he's covering things in Los Angeles, and he's in Britain, and he's getting information from Iran. He is doing a great job, and we'll probably be using some of his stuff on a fairly regular basis. He is good.
Absolutely.
And now it's on you.
All right, so here is to the bread and butter that we were talking about earlier about the secret sonic weapons and stuff that was used on Venezuelan troops. A viral story from a man claiming to have witnessed U.S. operation to capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro states that the U.S. used sonic weapons during the mission to incapacitate opposing forces. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt shared the eyewitness interview on X, encouraging her followers to read the statement. The witness in the interview claims to be a guard who was serving at the Caracas military base where U.S. captured Maduro. And I can continue reading this, but let's listen to this guy because he's got all the information.
The White House press secretary shared a post earlier today saying, "Stop what you're doing and read this." And if this thing is true, this is probably going to be one of the most terrifying eyewitness testimonies I've ever read and I've ever heard of being interviewed or anything. But to be fair, it's not verified from a credible witness. It's not like it's an unverified report. I haven't seen any audio recordings of this to prove that this actually happened. So take this with a grain of salt. But if it's true, this would be terrifying. So there are accounts on Twitter sharing that there was an account from a Venezuelan security guard loyal to Nicolas Maduro that shared what happened on the day of the operation when they seized Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela. Apparently, it was a security guard. So the beginning of the interview goes like this. The security guard says, "On the day of the operation, we didn't hear anything coming. We were on guard, but suddenly all our radar systems shut down without any explanation. The next thing we saw were drones, a lot of drones, flying over our positions. We didn't know how to react." And then the interviewer said, "So what happened next? How was the main attack?" And the security guard responded by saying, "After those drones appeared, some helicopters arrived, but there were very few. I think barely 8 helicopters. From those helicopters, soldiers came down, but a very small number, maybe 20 men. But those men were technologically very advanced. They didn't look like anything we fought against before." And then the interviewer said, "And then the battle began?" Security guard says, "Yes, but it was a massacre. We were hundreds, but we had no chance. They were shooting with such precision and speed. It seemed like each soldier was firing 300 rounds per minute. We couldn't do anything." Interviewer said, and your own weapons, didn't they help?" Security guard says, no help at all, because it wasn't just the weapons. At one point, they launched something. I don't know how to describe it. It was like a very intense sound wave. Suddenly, I felt like my head was exploding from the inside. We all started bleeding from the nose. Some were vomiting blood. We fell to the ground, unable to move. Interviewer says, "And your comrades, did they manage to resist?" Security guard says, "No, not at all. Those 20 men without a single casualty killed hundreds of us. We had no way to compete with their technology, with their weapons. I swear I've never seen anything like it. We couldn't even stand up after that sonic weapon or whatever it was." The interview says, "So do you think the rest of the region should think twice before confronting the Americans?" The security guard says, "Without a doubt. I'm sending a warning to anyone who thinks they can fight the United States. They have no idea what they're capable of. After what I saw, I never want to be on the other side of that again. They're not to be messed with." And then the interviewer says, "And now that Trump has said Mexico is on the list, do you think the situation will change in Latin America?" The security guard says, "Definitely. Everyone is already talking about this. No one wants to go through what we went through. Now everyone thinks twice. What happened here is going to change a lot of things, not just in Venezuela, but throughout the region. Now, again, this was shared by the White House Press Secretary, Carolyn Leavitt.
I have no words. I have no words. I do have another brief video talking about the secret weapons.
The 3 most secret weapons the United States used to capture Maduro. At number 3, the RQ-170 Sentinel. This stealth drone can fly at 50,000 feet for over 12 hours without being detected. It's coated in radar-absorbent material designed to defeat Russian air defense systems. But here's the terrifying part. It flew straight through Venezuela's S-300 missile zones, completely invisible, tracking Maduro in real time while no one even knew it was there. And number 2, the next-generation jammer aboard EA-18G Growlers. This system doesn't just block radar. It hacks enemy frequencies, floods screens with hundreds of ghost aircraft, and turns air defense networks into total chaos. Operators think they're under massive attack when nothing is actually there. And at number 1, the modified MH-47G Chinook flown by the 160th Night Stalkers. This helicopter can carry 30 elite operators and uses upgraded rotors to stay eerily quiet. Witnesses in Caracas said it sounded like a distant hum. By the time you realize what you're hearing, Delta Force is already on the ground.
I don't know about you, but that kind of stuff gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, that's almost not even fair.
No, it's not
and that's
fair
good
at all.
And that's good.
Yeah, right. That's our side, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Right. It's our side, so it's okay.
It's war.
Fine, but yeah. You know, that first video, I don't know. I woke up and maybe in one of my fever dreams, I come across it and I sent it out to the survival group and I just had to share that. It was something else, that first video there. But so that's pretty much all I got to say on that. We can cover that another time. On to you.
Senator Kelly has been in the news, and he is in news again today. He is going to be filing a lawsuit against the Department of War and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth for he says he's being retaliated against for his free political speech. He is being demoted, which will also mean the loss in pay. There's been other threats that could go along with that if it goes further. He could lose more than just money benefits. There are benefits of being a retired military person. And so he is going to file a lawsuit. Now, for those that may have not heard, he along with 5 other Congress critters decided they would make a video.
Critters?
Yeah. Decided that they would make a video that puts doubt in the head of our military on whether or not they have to follow orders. They tried to make it sound like they had been getting unlawful orders. Now, I watched a video, Ronnie, where a guy, and I probably saved it and I didn't use it for tonight. He said that when you listen to the oath that you take, it doesn't say that you do not have to follow unlawful orders. That's assumed.
Yeah.
And that it tells you that you need to follow the orders of your commander-in-chief and those who are working on his behalf, something to that effect. And go ahead.
Well, I didn't join the military, but didn't you stand up and take an oath to that effect? Because you were
Yes.
You were military. I was law enforcement. I did something similar, but it wasn't foreign and domestic kind of thing.
Yes. Beth, you see what she said there? Good luck on that, Kelly.
Right. You're right.
You know, the whole FAFO just fits everything that's going on right now. You know,
absolutely.
I think he would probably be best just to shut up. I think he'd be just better off to shut up.
I don't get it. Literally, if you think about everything, it's all FAFO, and people have been effing owed. They're finding out. So you would think that people quit effing around, but it's not that way. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
So
stuff.
we'll see how that works out for him. I guess it kind of fits as a distraction. You know, the FA part was when they put the video out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Then you just keep doubling down.
We'll see how that works out in the end. And you should have another one, Ronnie?
Yes, I do. U.S. Postal Service issues crisis essential worker letter. Now, I watched a couple of videos on this. It gave me goosebumps. I'll let this guy explain a little bit, and then I will share more.
Well, this can't be good at all. So apparently postal workers were given this letter on January 5th, 2026. Subject line, Postal Service employees continue to provide essential services. Keyword essential. Are you ready for this? It states during large-scale emergencies, epidemics, hurricanes, civil unrest, etc., states and localities may issue curfew orders or other directives restricting travel and other commercial and personal activities. Even if the state or local action does not contain such an exemption, the Postal Service's operations are governed by federal law. Therefore, they are essential. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Employees and contractors should carry the essential services letter with them as they perform duties for the Postal Service and travel to and from work. It is critical that all employees and contractors carry their postal ID badge with them at all times. If encountered or stopped by the state or local law enforcement officials enforcing travel restrictions, the postal worker or contractor should identify themselves as a Postal Service employee, show the official their postal issue ID badge, and provide a copy of the letter with this information to the official. What is going on? This is real, people. Really fucking scary. Travel restrictions? Essential employees? I'm not going to say it, but I think we all know what ML is. Travel restrictions? Curfews? This is not good.
Oh, well, kill him. My apologies for the drop there. I didn't really catch it the first time, and I'm trying to change. This is the letter. I have a copy of the letter. This thing is real. I noticed that it mentions epidemics, hurricanes, and civil unrest, and this has a lot of people wondering if the latest deadly flu outbreak is going to be drummed up into another COVID-style nonsense or more worrisome civil unrest. The fact that the Democratic Party is now being exposed as having a hand in the largest multi-billion-dollar fraud in world history. We covered that. There's a bunch going on into that. Criminal referral has been made for Democrat Governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. So what if it's war? What if the feds know they're going to do something to trigger Russia into attacking us and they're prepping for martial law, local regional lockdowns due to war damage? The only other time a letter like this went out was just as the COVID nonsense was being drummed up. So whatever reason for the letter being issued now, it seems to indicate whatever is coming fast. And Red, White, and True will be here to cover it. Back to you.
And we're hoping that that is in the conspiracy theory inbox.
Yes. Keep your fingers crossed that that's just conspiracy stuff.
Yeah. And, we cover those when necessary. And we pray against them when necessary. My final headline.
Red, White, and True, not Red, White, and Soon. So if it's not true, we'll come back and let you know.
Yep. My final headline, and boy, it is after 8 o'clock, and we're not done with headline. a volunteer disc jockey at a college radio station posted a message calling for the assassination of Vice President J.D. Vance. The post was removed, and the individual has resigned. He resigned his volunteer duty. The FBI and Secret Service were notified. No active plot has been identified, and the case was treated seriously due to the office that was involved. And there's Mary. See, I knew we needed to do that. We'll get that, Mary.
Yes.
There's stupid people everywhere, and I'm not referring to Mary. I'm referring to the volunteer DJ that issued a death threat to the Vice President of the United States. Ronnie, I'm just going to shake my head.
You know, that's just another person standing up, painting a target, and telling someone to go do it. Now, I'm sure J.D. Vance has had assassination attempts on his life, just like President Donald Trump has. However, this seems to me like it's another person painting a target and saying, go do that. And
if you hear that enough, eventually people become numb to that. Listening to that is wrong. I mean,
going to happen.
It takes way less than that to trigger some people. I mean, some people get triggered the second their feet hit the floor in the morning. And again, our side doesn't do that. And if they do, you and I are going to condemn it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not going to say it's okay.
Mention that. No, it takes me people even mention that kind of stuff. It's just aggravating.
I mean, that's not even the kind of stuff that we say when the cameras are off and we're sitting in the living room and chit-chatting around. I mean, we make jokes about certain things, but we don't make jokes about
people dying.
Assassinating the vice president.
No.
I mean, we joke about Joe Biden falling off bicycles and stuff like that.
Yeah, Brandon Falls. Yeah, you know, beautiful places like that.
So hit that outro for the headlines, and then we'll address Mary.
Oh, give me just a second. My computer wants to FA all of a sudden. It's going to FO here in a minute. Where did it go? Where did it go? My apologies. There it is. All right. And that was headline news right here on Red, White, and True. Yes, now let's talk about what Mary was asking about. And I will pull her comment up here.
So the reference there is the money from Venezuela. We have seized at least 3, maybe more Venezuelan tankers full of oil. And the report is that money is going to bypass the U.S. Treasury. And what more do you know about that, Ronnie?
Well, I've got some pulled up. It says Venezuelan oil. The Trump administration's proposed selling Venezuelan oil at market prices, which could be seen as a way to bypass traditional U.S. finance systems. The concept involves direct exchange of goods and services without traditional monetary transactions, addressing challenges like taxation and economic uncertainty. These methods illustrate how financial systems are evolving and adapting to circumvent U.S. influence. There is a report here. Trump says, I'll control the money. Venezuela oil claim. Trump administration says that it will sell Venezuelan oil, just like I just read. This oil will be sold at market price and the money will be controlled by me as president of the United States to ensure that it is used to benefit the people of Venezuela and the United States. So I guess we'll see. Like you said, 3, maybe 4 oil tankers. I know some were flying Russian flags. Some were flying one, maybe even Iranian flag. I'm not 100% on that. So we'll dig more into this. We'll be back Wednesday, Lord willing, unless something else happens. We'll be back. What is today? Monday? So Tuesday.
It is
maybe.
Monday.
Yeah. That's what happens
when
you're
Wednesday.
in bed for 26 hours. I don't even know what day it is. Say a prayer for me. I've been down and got some issue in my ribs, so you might have seen me or something, earlier. We'll get it figured out. One thing I did not want to do was miss out on Red, White, and True. So I took a shower, smacked myself a few times, and boy, howdy, here am I. We've still got so much to go. Oh my goodness. I wanted to show this most Ricky Tick. We've talked about that a few times. At least I've talked about it a few times. That is one of 4 U.S. Doomsday planes. Now we have tracked. The other day, I tracked one that flew through Indiana, took off from Camp David. Another one, they kind of matched up and landed. Well, disappeared off of the radar. There's been a couple in the air, and that one landed at LAX. Its call sign was Night Watch. So a lot of people are kind of freaking out about the Doomsday plane landing in LAX. It usually does not land in civilian territory, but I will keep you updated on planes too.
Well, I think I'm out of breath. We had a lot to cover, and there's so many things that is just on the back burner that we could have covered.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we can go live tomorrow and talk for another hour. What are we at? Where'd it go? Hour and 14 minutes? Yeah, we could do another hour and 14 minutes easy without me being on my soapbox there.
I like that. I've been accused of being an agitator once or twice, and
I got agitated, so
it is kind of fun to nudge people every once in a while and then just back up and watch how they react. You, Bill, Tanya.
That is right. Bill and Tanya, absolutely, yes. This plane here, E6B Mercury. I'm just checking planes at the moment, so something to give everybody something to look at other than our ugly mugs.
I seen somebody else, and I don't remember if it was Agenda Free or Chuck Holton, the Hot Zone with Chuck Holton, or several of the ones that we both watch, that was showing that very plane tracker or flight tracker.
Yeah, this flight tracker 24, I guess it's very big. A lot of people use it. I know I have for. Oh my gosh, I actually just paid for it 2 weeks ago. So I've had it for at least 3 years. It's a very handy tool to look at flights. I mean, you can obviously right now this is on the setting of military flights. These are all United States military. I can kill this filter if it'll let me. Everybody's seen this before. We've shown it on Road to White and True. These are all military and civilian flights in the air as of this moment. This is a very, 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 very accurate tracker. So I'll kill that and go back to our ugly mugs. People need to see us. There we
are. There's your mama.
But yeah. Mama, where's she at? She's at work tonight. Twice. I was on a soapbox twice. I'll put it away. I won't. I'll put it away until Ed fires me up again. Agitator.
Agitator. Well, I ain't got anything more to agitate tonight. We are basically on standby waiting for what happens in Iran. Who knows? We may end, for our benefit and your benefit, it can happen during the daytime. If it doesn't, then hopefully one of the two of us is able to know what's going on, and
absolutely
we'll be in with coverage the very best we can. We're watching others and seeing how they cover stories like this. Agenda Free, basically they come on when there's an issue. They don't, correct me if I'm wrong, Ronnie, but he doesn't have a Monday, Wednesday, and either Friday or Saturday schedule. No. His schedule is he comes on when something goes down.
Yeah, he watches the news. He watches live events, and he only comes on when something's going down. So yeah, I'd like to eventually get us to that. Now I don't know how his he's got sources and stuff that man, he comes on live about stuff that is not even on CNN or Fox. Before he's live before they even capture a headline. So,
And then Chuck Holton, he is a former Green Beret. Been with the Free Burma Rangers, and he goes live, and he actually goes to. He was on the border of Venezuela the next day after we took Maduro.
Wow.
And soon he's going to Greenland and report live from Greenland. So he's an independent journalist. He's worked for news agencies in the past, but now he's going to the point where it's his. Just like the guy who had the videos in Minneapolis, the young guy who exposed the fraud going on, and I can't think of it.
Nick Shirley.
Yeah,
Nick Shirley.
And
Shirley.
when you think about it, going all over the world costs money, and we're not looking to do that at this point in time. But we would, we've got some things. I find it interesting.
Go around the world.
I find it interesting that Steve on Agenda Free has specific sites that he uses and some that he don't use. He uses AP or doesn't use AP. He uses Reuters or doesn't use Reuters. What I'm saying there. Explain that a little bit, Ronnie. You probably realize that better.
Yeah, so he has he has rights to certain videos. This is stuff that we're just digging into, after a year of just kind of sharing TikToks and YouTubes and Facebooks and stuff. This is something that we're starting to dig into because it costs money. So, we already pay for StreamYard. Well, Ed pays for it, not me. Things cost money, and we're getting into the monetary side of things. Reuters, they charge for their videos. Steve looking around Agenda Free, he pays for some things he doesn't pay for. So if he doesn't pay for it, he can't show it. Unfortunately, we're kind of finding that out. We're being picked on by copyrights and stuff like that. Now I've got a segment written that is called Metalcore, Christian metal music. We've talked about it before. I had a segment about it before. But there's an AI band called Ashes of Eden, and I'm in the process of talking to their producer, the creator. It's all written by AI, so we can play some here on Red, White, and True. So, things coming up in the future. Keep us in your prayers because we're getting into the monetary side of things, but all it's going to do is make things better here on Red, White, and True. Get things out there faster, get you the news. And Mary, thank you for that compliment. Ed told me a couple days ago, and I am still in shock and awe, and I really appreciate that. And that's what we're here for. We are here to explain and break it down, give our take, especially give our take when I pulled the soapbox out. So yes, thank you so much. And the question earlier, Mary, we're here to answer, but keep us in your prayers.
All right, everyone. We'll be back on Wednesday for sure. That red line has been crossed by Iran. So that was the FA. We'll be back when it comes to the FO part of that.
Absolutely.
Unless it gets to Wednesday, and we'll be here at our regular scheduled time. So say good night, Ronnie.
I've got the command center set up, so I've got my eyes on it, and we will let you know. Good night, everybody. Thank you so very much for straggling with us for an hour and 22 minutes. We thank each and every one of you. We love you. We'll see you soon.
And until then, go out and do the right thing.
From the heart of America to the heart of DC, everyone likes Ed and Ronnie.